UMak-CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang, liderato, talino, at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. May bagong pangarap sa UMak-CITE. Kami humahakbang, mga isip na handang matuto't magturo sa hinaharap ng bayan. Kami bahagi nito, dito hinuhubog ang guro ng bukas. May pusong may talino, may malasakit na wagas. Hindi lang kaalaman ang aming dala, kundi pag-asang magbabago sa bawat paaralan at komunidad pa. Sa bawat aral na aming pinaninindigan, may layuning maglingkod sa sambayanan. With passion to teach and hearts that care, future educators, handa na kami. We did it! CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang, liderato, talino, at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Inanay sa ideya at paraan, leadership na may tapang at paninindigan. Excellence sa gawa, hindi lang sa salita. Altruism sa puso, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Resilience sa hamon, di basta sumusuko. Nationalism ang sigaw para sa Pilipino. Sa bawat hakbang, sa bawat pangarap, I learn ang lakas, CITE ang landas. Hindi lang diploma ang aming hangad, kundi misyon ang may sasay at malasakit. Sa silid-aralan at sa tunay na buhay, kami ang guro, kami ang ilaw ng bukas at gabay. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang, liderato, talino, at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Hands up! Sabay-sabay, future teachers, this is our day. Learn, lead, serve with pride. UMak-CITE, we stand side by side. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang, liderato, talino, at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. May bagong pangarap sa UMak-CITE. Kami humahakbang, mga isip na handang matuto't magturo sa hinaharap ng bayan. Kami bahagi nito, dito hinuhubog ang guro ng bukas. May pusong may talino, may malasakit na wagas. Hindi lang kaalaman ang aming dala, kundi pag-asang magbabago sa bawat paaralan at komunidad pa. Sa bawat aral na aming pinaninindigan, may layuning maglingkod tapang at paninindigan. Excellence sa gawa, hindi lang sa salita. Altruism sa puso, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Resilience sa hamon, di basta sumusuko. Nationalism ang sigaw para sa Pilipino. Sa bawat hakbang, sa bawat pangarap, I learn ang lakas, CITE ang landas. Hindi lang diploma ang aming hangad, kundi misyon na may sasay at malasakit. Sa silid-aralan at sa tunay na buhay, kami sa bawat umagang may bagong pangarap. Sa UMak-CITE kami humahakbang, mga isip na handang matuto't magturo. Sa hinaharap ng bayan, kami bahagi nito. Dito hinuhubog ang guro ng bukas. May pusong may talino, may malasakit na wagas. Hindi lang kaalaman ang aming dala, kundi pag-asang magbabago sa bawat paaralan at komunidad pa. Sa bawat aral na amin pinaninindigan, may layuning maglingkod sa sambayanan. With passion to teach and hearts that care, future educators, handa na kami. We did it! CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang. Liderato, talino, at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Inanay sa ideya at paraan, leadership na may tapang at paninindigan. Excellence sa gawa, hindi lang sa salita. Altruism sa puso, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Resilience sa hamon, di basta sumusuko. Nationalism ang sigaw para sa Pilipino. Sa bawat hakbang, sa bawat pangarap, I learn ang lakas, CITE ang landas. Hindi lang diploma ang aming hangad, kundi misyon na may sasay at malasakit. Sa silid-aralan at sa tunay na buhay, kami ang guro, kami ang ilaw ng bukas at gabay. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang. Liderato, talino, at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Hands up! Sabay-sabay, future teachers, this is our day. Learn, lead, serve with pride. UMak-CITE, we stand side by side. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang. Liderato, talino, at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo.
The College of Innovative Teacher Education at the University of Makati is an exemplary institution at the forefront of progressive teacher education in the Philippines. Rooted in a tradition of excellence and driven by innovation, CITE is committed to developing competent, ethical, and resilient educators and academic leaders who are equipped to meet the evolving demands of 21st century learning environments. As a vertically articulated college offering undergraduate programs, CITE ensures a seamless progression of knowledge and practice, empowering future teachers, school administrators, and education specialists through a curriculum grounded in research, real-world application, and technological integration. Its academic programs emphasize the practical application of educational theories, with strong foundations in inclusive education, student-centered teaching, and school leadership, continuously adapting to the needs of diverse learners and dynamic classrooms. CITE proudly offers degrees in Bachelor of Elementary Education, as well as Bachelor of Secondary Education, with majors in English, mathematics, and social studies, with plans and ideas of offering new degrees in the future, such as Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Special Needs Education, Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science, and Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Values Education. CITE students are given immersive, hands-on learning experiences, not just through practicum and fieldwork, but also by allowing them to participate in student-led organizations. These groups create opportunities for professional growth, school life balance, and community involvement, thereby shaping them to be well-rounded future educators. The college is also proud to house the Higher School of UMak, its very own senior high school, which also functions as a laboratory school for future teachers under the College of Innovative Teacher Education. Higher School of UMak offers 4 tracks, namely the academic track, technical, vocational, and livelihood track, arts and design track, and sports track. Under these tracks are strands, some of which are specialized, like the teacher preparation program, cluster under the academic track, which aims to prepare students aspiring to pursue teacher education in college. The college is also proud to announce its partnership with global education platforms such as Khan Academy, expanding its reach through international collaborations with partners in Taiwan, Guam, US, China, and more to come, opening doors to cross-cultural learning and international exposure. Further affirming its commitment to excellence, the College of Innovative Teacher Education has been officially accredited as a continuing professional development provider, reinforcing its role as a pillar in advancing lifelong learning and professional growth. Guided by its core values: innovation, leadership, excellence, altruism, resilience, and nationalism, CITE envisions to become an internationally recognized center of excellence in teacher education. At CITE, they do more than educate. They inspire change, lead transformation, and build a future shaped by empowered educators devoted to serving both nation and humanity. This is the College of Innovative Teacher Education. This is CITE, proudly preparing the next generation of transformative leaders in education.
The College of Innovative Teacher Education. From humble beginnings as a traditional, locally focused program, UMak-CITE has evolved into a specialized, innovative hub for tech integration and research. Today, we take the next step, strengthening our mission through a milestone partnership.
Hindi ko na patatagalin, mag-bubuusainin na tayo. Magandang hapon.
A formal union between UMak-CITE and the Teacher Education Council.
The better opportunity for us, especially I attended the last TEC Roadmap 2025, and we get to know firsthand what will happen with the curriculum, and also what will improve about the Teacher Education Council.
TEC is known for its initiative in enhancing and developing teacher education and promoting professional development.
To the high-level training and certifications when it comes to the TEC.
What I'm really looking forward to would be the hands-on learning that we will get out of this, as well as the high-level certification that this MOU will bring to our campus.
I'm excited that this MOU bridges the gap between our classrooms and the actual tech industry, which is giving us a direct access to high-level expertise.
We're no longer just following a curriculum, but we're gaining a competitive edge that makes us truly future-ready.
A milestone more than a signature. It is a promise to every student and every future teacher that we will never stop innovating.
May bagong pangarap sa UMak-CITE kami humahakbang, mga isip na handang matuto't magturo sa hinaharap ng bayan. Kami bahagi nito, dito hinuhubog ang guro. May bagong pangarap sa UMak-CITE kami humahakbang, mga isip na handang matuto't magturo sa hinaharap ng bayan. Kami bahagi nito, dito hinuhubog ang guro ng bukas. May pusong may talino, may malasakit na wagas. Hindi lang kaalaman ang aming dala, kundi pag-asang magbabago sa bawat paaralan at komunidad pa. Sa bawat aral na aming pinaninindigan, may layuning maglingkod sa sambayanan. With passion to teach and hearts that care, future educators, handa na kami. We did it! CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat habang, liderato, talino at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Inanay sa ideya at paraan, leadership na may tapang at paninindigan. Excellence sa gawa, hindi lang sa salita. Altruism sa puso, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Resilience sa hamon, di basta sumusuko. Nationalism ang sigaw para sa Pilipino. Sa bawat hakbang, sa bawat pangarap, I learn ang lakas, CITE ang landas. Hindi lang diploma ang aming hangad, kundi misyon na may sasay at malasakit. Sa silid-aralan at sa tunay na buhay, kami ang guro, kami ang ilaw ng bukas at gabay. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay liderato, talino at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Hands up! Sabay-sabay, future teachers, this is our day. Learn, lead, serve with pride. UMak-CITE, we stand side by side. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang. Liderato, talino at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. We are delighted to welcome you back to the afternoon session of our International Summit. This morning's discussion of Dr. Sophia and Dr. Magtoto have set the tone for our productive day, and we are excited to continue with another round of inspiring talks and exchanges this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Well, let's have a quick check-in. Are you still good and awake? I want to see some reactions to check if you're still with me. Reactions can be a raise hand, heart, or clap, or whichever reaction you can give. Oh, I see some reactions now coming in. Perfect. Okay, now that I have your attention, please be reminded that this is a two-day international summit and participants are expected to complete evaluations on both days. An evaluation will be administered toward the end of day 1 and another on day 2. Only those who are able to submit both evaluations will be eligible to receive their certificates, as this is a 6 CPD accredited conference. Compliance with all requirements is essential to ensure proper crediting. Okay, so let's begin our afternoon session. We will watch a cultural performance from the University of Makati Siglahi Dance Troupe. Please stay connected as we watch together the special performance prepared by our talented students. Thank you once again to our students for that inspiring performance, which reminded us that the importance of nurturing our roots while embracing the future. As we continue our journey today, we now move to session 3, where we will explore a topic that is crucial for personal and professional growth in the 21st century, with the theme Empowering Self-Directed Lifelong Learners for Future-Ready, Timeless Skills. In a rapidly changing job market, the most valuable skill is learning how to learn. This theme explores how to transition from passive consumption to active student-led discovery. To guide us through this exciting journey, we are privileged to have with us a speaker who brings deep expertise and practical insights in fostering these future-ready, timeless skills. She is a full-time instructor of Department of Educational Technology, Faculty of Education, Kazetsart, University, Bangkok, Thailand since 2014. She has been involved in research projects that focus on technology integration for teaching and learning development. Her areas of interest focus on online education, technology integration, mobile education, and ASEAN education. Since 2015, her studies were accepted to publish in international journals within educational technology field. In 2019, she received the National Research Grant for research title Internet Literacy Among the Elderly in Thailand. In 2022, she received the collaboration research funding with Universitas Negeri Semarang, Indonesia, in conducting research about technology, acceptance, and massive open online course. In 2019, she was a keynote speaker for international conference at Kazadzart University in the topic of AI and education. In 2023 to 2025, she was accepted to be a panel speaker at EduTech Asia International Conference, including a panel speaker for Future Education International Conference in 2024. In 2020, she participated in Erasmus Scholarship to be a visiting professor at METU in Turkey. In 2016 to 2018, she was Assistant Dean of International Affairs at Faculty of Education. In 2020 to 2024, she worked as Department Chair of Educational Technology. Currently, she has worked as Assistant Dean of Digital Technology at Faculty of Education, Kazadzart University. Moreover, in terms of international profession, she is an editor-in-chief of ASTEN, Journal of Teacher Education, an international journal. Please welcome, from the Faculty of Education in Kazadzart University, Bangkok, Thailand, Dr. Watsatri Ditiyont.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, and thank you so much for the university and Dean Jason for having me today as the speaker of this session. I hope that my topic, the human and AI coexistence, will give all of you the idea how can we, like balance the AI using in a modern classroom right now that we are in. Before I jump to my presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my university a little bit, so you can see that maybe because after I watched your presentation about university, I saw that we have a same faculty member, we have the same department. So I would like to share with you, if one day if you have a chance to come to Thailand, you can contact me, and then we can have the collaboration to each other. Let's see. I hope you can see my website. This is my Faculty of Education. First of all, I am from the เกษตรศาสตร์ University. เกษตรศาสตร์ UC is top 5 of the UC in Thailand, and we are located in Bangkok, Thailand, so it's very easy to come. And in Bangkok, we are the biggest university in Bangkok. We have 4 campus. We have one in Bangkok. We have one in the Middle West. We have one in the Northeastern, and we have one in the East. So because we have 4 campus, we have a ton of the students. We have like many thousands of students graduate for each year. We have a graduation. We spend like a week for our graduation for the whole campus. And we have around 20 faculty that focus on the agriculture, like fishing, engineering, and soon or later we're gonna have the school of medical school. We have the department of nursing right now, and I think in the next 5 years we're gonna have department of pharmacy very soon. And right now we are start building the hospital, our hospital, because we're gonna serve the faculty, and we have the, as I mentioned before, we have the school of medical school very soon. I'm from the Faculty of Education. I worked here for 11 years in the Department of Educational Technology. Before that, I studied in the US. And our Faculty of Education, we provide a lot of major here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 departments. We have Department of Education with we have the science education, we have a mathematics education, we have Thai language, we have English. We call it English, teaching English. And we have a Department of Educational Technology that I come from. And we have Department of Physical Education. This is a very big department. We have 100 or 200 for each year. And several of them, they are the athlete, national athlete. They study with us. So in almost every 2 years and every 4 years, we send the student to join the SEA Games. We got the gold medal or silver medal from sending the student to join that event. We have the Department of Lifelong Learning. We have Department of Vocational Study. They focus on the lifelong learning, adult education. Also, we have the major in how they call like a cooking, like a Thai cooking. If you're interested, you can come and see how can we produce the teacher who can teach the Thai food, and do the business. And also the last one that we have is the Department of Guidance, the psychology and the guidance. And we then focus on the special education. And beside the faculty education, we have the school, laboratory school, that I can say that is one of the top, like no more than top 3. I think we are in the top 3 of the lab school in Thailand. And we have the very outstanding school because we mix the student from special needs study with the normal student. So the student with the special need that maybe they have the learning disability or autism, they can study with the normal student. So they can help each other, like to continue the education and be the successful. So we very high competitive for our lab school because of this reason. People, especially the family who have the autism kid, they're very high competitive to send their kid to study with us. So in this case, if you are interested, we are in Bangkok, in the northern of Bangkok. We have a sky train that can access to our university. In case if you are interested to come to visit us, just let me know. I will provide you the email. And yeah, that is where that I come from, the Ksat University. And we also, I forgot to mention that our faculty education, we are the part of S10. S10 is a teacher education network. We already have a long relationship with the PNU in the Philippines. We exchange the students to each other. We have some PNU students come to, like do study, do the research with us. We provide the funding. We have the like a co-funding from between the institution. We send our PE student to have a kind of student teaching in the PNU as well. So in case if your university wanna do something like that with us, we can discuss later about that. So let's go to my presentation. Let's see. Okay. So my presentation is about the human and AI coexistence, redefining the agency in a model classroom. So when I got this topic, I do a lot of research, and I start writing the paper, and to kind of organize the idea what I should share with all of you here. Okay. So before I jump into my presentation, you can see a lot of vocabulary here. So this is all the vocabulary that we're gonna learn today. I think maybe 25 or 30 vocabulary that all the educator, all the professor, all the teacher need to know the definition. And all this vocabulary, they are related to each other. And you're gonna see like what we have to do right now in the classroom. And this is the keyword that a lot of research start using that. If you are interested to do the research in educational technology, this is the keyword that we are working on it's in the trend right now for the educational technology. So my presentation, I will divide into 4 sections. So each section gonna give you the idea what we are in right now. And the first section is about the modern classroom, gonna give you the idea what we are in or at right now. And the second section, I gonna show you what we are doing right now. And the third section gonna give you the answer, the overall picture of what we are impact right now. And the last section gonna give you the idea of, so what should we do later or right now that from impact from the technology. So the first section I will title as a model classroom. So you need to know what the model classroom is one of the keywords in the title. When I do the research about the model classroom, I found out that in this time we don't call the place that the students learning is a classroom anymore. No more the word as a classroom. So model classroom, we define most of the website and the research, they say that they define as the ecosystem, like a learning ecosystem. So it's about some of the element, everything in the ecosystem need to relate to each other and impact to each other. If you look at the picture, so the notebook LM, they read my paper and then they create a picture of something like this. So this is the picture of the mode of the learning ecosystem or the model classroom that we are talking right now. So you can see the keyword over here that, so model classroom is not about the room that have a class. Is they integrate the concept of personalized learning, human-centered learning, well-being, collaboration, individualized learning or dynamic result. So right now in the classroom in this century, it's not about the class that have a learning inside. It's about the ecosystem. Everything need to impact to each other and connect to each other. So the concept of the model classroom in this picture that model classroom is not about the class anymore. It's about the learning. It's no more physical. The definition is move on from the physical to non-physical. So it's not about the physical anymore. Your student can learn anywhere, anytime. Plus, they use the digital tools, and the learning is shifted from the teacher to the student. So it's a human-centered pedagogy. So that is we call the model learning ecosystem right now. This is the concept of model classroom. And if we look at the element, all the elements in the model classroom and the traditional classroom are the same. Yes, they are the same, but they just define themselves the new one. So in the ecosystem, they have a 4 component. The first one is about the learner and the teacher. It's a human component. And the second one is about the tool. This element is make the learning happen. And in the ecosystem, we need to have the community. Community is mean the environment, the social, the environment that we support us to make the learning to be more successful. And in the ecosystem, it's not about the blackboard. It's not about the light. It's not about the physical thing. It's about the parents, about the community, be all of us. And in the ecosystem, we have the component number 4 is about the value and the mindset. This component, the main job of this component is to make the learner to be more completely human being. So I will take a look at in the detail about the each component from the in the modern classroom. In the past, our classroom is about the passive audience. Students need to learn from the teacher. Teacher give it to us, give it to the student what they supposed to learn, what the activity they should do. You need to follow the rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But right now, that concept is old already. The student in this generation, they don't want to learn in that way anymore. They want to be the personalized. They want to decide the way that they want to learn by themselves. They want to do this activity more than this activity. Also, the student need to be more individualized learning. So individualized and personalized is a little bit different. Personalized is the learning that fit to that student, but individual maybe they can study alone. They don't need to do as a group project. And also the student in the model classroom, they need to be the hybrid learner. They can study on site, they can study online, or they can study in this way or that way. So they mix to each other. So in the model classroom, I can say the student is not a passive audience anymore. They focus on themselves. They can decide what they want to learn. They can decide what the activity they want to join. Also, the teacher as well. In a model classroom, you cannot be the content deliverer anymore. The task of the teacher need to be facilitator. Also, you need to be the content designer. You're supposed to advise the student, not about the teach the student. You need to be advised. Also, in some situation, you need to be the mentor and the co-learning partner that help the student to learn what they want to learn and achieve the goal. So you can see that in this element, the job is a little bit different, but they're still the most important component in the learning, but you just change the job. The component 2 is about the infrastructure. So it's about the tool. In the model classroom or the modern learning ecosystem, the tool that make the learning happen is not about the blackboard anymore. It's not about the tool, the chalkboard, or the line or anything, but it's referred to the the digital version of that tool, such as the open resource, database, online library, ebook. Also included the LMS. LMS is like a learning managing system, like a Google Classroom or Blackboard something, and also the AI. So AI is a part of the model classroom already. And also the third component is about the community. In the traditional, this component is the main task of this community is to make the learning to be more successful. In the past, maybe we refer to the school, the building, like every environment in the school or something like that. But in the model classroom, the definition is changed. So we will not talk about the environment in the school anymore. We don't want to talk about the laboratory, like you need to have a beautiful lab anymore. So this component is in the model classroom, they focus on the parents, the family of the student, that they need to support the student to be more successful. They need to help the collaborate with the teacher or the school that can help the student to be more successful. Also, this component they focus on the government and the policy as well. That policy need to be clear what the student need to support the student to be more success in the way that they want to do. Also, the school maybe can provide about the funding to the student to achieve the goal. And this is the last one that maybe in the traditional classroom they never mentioned before. But this one is a model classroom they pay. This is very important one that make the student to be more like a human being. So they talk. So this component is about the critical thinking, creativity, the ethics thing, also the digital well-being. So this component the main hack is make the student to be more human. They can have a lifelong learning skill. They have have a feel safe in the environment. They become the critical learner. So as I mentioned in the box, that this component they shape the student to be the beautiful human. So this slide I compare of the each component between traditional classroom and the modern ecosystem. So you can see that we almost still remain the same component, but a little bit redefining the agency. For example, the student become from the passive receive information to be active, more individualized. Teacher in the past, they deliver the content to the student, but this time they need to change to be the mentor, help the student to achieve the goal. Also, the way of teaching in the past may be linear transfer. Teacher give the information to the student directly. You need to do this. You need to learn this. You need to do the homework that I assign. But this time, we no more linear transfer anymore. Students need to be a part of their learning. They can design and construct the activity for the student. Also, the tool, no more physical room, no more textbook. This time is about the technology, online resource, ebook, or open source, website, mobile learning, everything that make the learning happen. And also the policy, maybe in the traditional column, we used to have the top-down EDU policy that principal need to release the policy. But this time they change to the, like digital well-being, the provider, the provider support learning to be happy. So this is the difference between the past and what we are doing right now, what we are in right now in this generation. So I can say that the model learning ecosystem is about the element that connected to each other. Is no more that we call the classroom right now. No more the word classroom. We call like a learning ecosystem that every element have their job and they need to interact to each other to make the student to be the best that they want to be. Not the best for us, but the best for themselves. So the goal a little bit different. Okay, so any of you have any question about the model classroom? I think most of you can get the idea what the already that what the model classroom is a little bit different. Before I jump to the next section, I can answer some question. Do you think that in the future have an AI? Maybe have. What if the student there will know internet still exists? Can AI replace the teacher? I think AI cannot replace the teacher from the traditional classroom. AI is a tool, and I will explain to you later why AI cannot replace the teacher in the traditional classroom or even in the model learning system. Okay. See. So the next section, so I think I will end this section. So you can see the picture that what we are right now. So we are in a model learning ecosystem that students not want to receive the content from us. They want to decide the content by themselves. They can access the information by themselves, and they want us to be the facilitator, not the teacher anymore. And students cannot learn by themselves successfully. Then we need to collaborate with the parents and the principal and the government that any way that we can help students to be success in a way that they want to be, in a way that not in a way that we want them to be, in a way that they want to be, in the best version of themselves. And we don't forget about the human being. We need to not about the best, like the best score, but we need to be the best of, we support them to be the best of themselves, who have the ethic inside, who have the critical, very creativity, accept the difference between each other. So that is the concept of the modern classroom, what we are in right now. And the section and the section 2, I would like to talk about the AI adoption. So this section will give you the idea that what we are using AI right now, what we are doing in the model, in the model learning ecosystem right now. So this section I will talk about the number, what we are using technology around the world right now, what the number, like a technology, how it is influence us as a in terms of the education. So I do the research and I can say that technology is a part of our life. It's a big essential element of the human life already. It's already that everyone need to use the electric something. Everyone need to have the cell phone. So I can say that 100% of the people, they have a technology in their life. Right now, we cannot go to the bank without the mobile phone, or we can, this time the student register through the internet already. We need to have at least one technology in our hand, or everyone need to have a mobile phone. So this is the life that we are doing right now. And if you look at the number of the technology that we are using among the student in US, we can see that the student in US, they use the technology more than half, like 63% they use for the digital tool every day. And also the elementary student, very young student, they still use the technology or access the internet like 45%. And also in the same time for the adult, especially the teacher in US, 94% of the teacher in the US, they use the digital tool for their teaching right now. How about in Thailand? In Thailand is very high number of the people who use the technology and the online and the online. I look at the data of Thailand. They say that 97% people use the smartphone. So I can say almost 100% or 100% of the Thai people, we have the smartphone. Why we have that get high number? Because this time our government, they force, not like a force, but they try to, like support us to force us to use the mobile phone, because if you go to the bank, you need to use the app. Or if you wanna apply for, like money from the government, get the facility or ask something for the government, you need to do the app, to the online thing. So that's why we have a high number of the people use the technology. And also the interesting is that more than 99% that internet, that the group of the people who access the internet is among the age 15 to 24, which is the people that in the school. 15 is the junior high, I think. And the 24 is when they graduate from the college. So people in this age, they use the internet all the time. They accept they have a technology in their hand. So this is the overall that we use the technology. So I focus on how about the AI. In the previous slide, we talk about the technology, maybe mobile, cell phone or something. But how about the narrow to the AI things? I found the very interesting number from the UNESCO. They say that around the world they collect the data, 86% students use the AI in their study. And the interesting number is that in the same time, the teacher they use the AI for their teaching or as a tool that support their teaching or professional development, 85%. This number almost the same. So the answer for this slide is really show that either student or teacher, we all use the AI in the same level, often or in the same level. And I take a look at the inside, like why the student use AI for. So I got the data from the demand set. They say like more than 50% they use the AI for getting the information. That kind of makes sense because generative AI, they try to ask the generative AI what is that and how they relate it. So they try to get information. And also more than the 50% they use for the brainstorm. This is the data very interesting that student, like brainstorming, they're supposed to be from themselves, but this time the AI take a part of that already. So the student use the AI for the brainstorming already. And like 31% they use to make the picture, and also I think is 60% for the music, and the 15 is for the coding. Maybe they ask them to do the coding. And also the top reason for the student to use the AI, to save time. You type the question and you get the answer immediately. You don't need to do the research. You need to read the book. You just ask them what it look like. They give you the right answer. Also, the second reason they say that they use the AI because they feel like they improve their work. So the AI can edit or revise their paper, their project to be more look more beautiful. And I think more than around 30-40% they say like, okay, AI help them to improve the skill, to learn more, and get the personalized support that help them to learn by themselves really easy. That is the top reason for using the AI. And this is the slide that show you the number of the student experience. And the 66% they say that they use the AI for their educational purpose, writing the paper, do the homework. And more than 50% they use the AI for writing at least one time. 265% the student, they say the Microsoft Copilot, they do the survey and they say that more than 200% students feel like, okay, they can learn by themselves right now from using the generative AI. But the interesting is on the right, is about the overwhelm. Many students they say that they use the AI, or they use a lot of AI, they see the positive result from using the AI, but in the same time, right now, 30% of the user, especially the women, they feel like it's overwhelmed. The kind of anxiety, and compare with the guy is 20. So either woman or the guy or the man, they feel like they start people in this generation, student in this generation, they feel like, okay, AI is helpful, useful, but at the same time they start feeling overwhelmed, anxiety, kind of worry a little bit about using the AI for their study. So that is from the student part. And I would like to move to the teacher, what the teacher use the AI in education. If you look at this slide, is they say like more than 50% of teachers, they feel like AI is amazing tool. And, oh no, 70% is amazing tool. Is help the student to be more success in the college and work. And also 60% of the teacher right now use the AI for their teaching. This is data is from the, I think it's from the demand side as well. So 60% of teacher they use AI for their teaching, and gonna be, and what the experience that they have, they say like uh they use 60% they're gonna use more in 2026 right now. And they say like almost 70% of the among the teacher they say they improve the teaching method. Is help them to have the new teaching method to the student more interesting, more quality, and also AI can save their time almost 6 hours per week. And on the right, they indicated what they use AI for do their research, their lesson plan, summarize the content, and also the, like the prepare for teaching, something like that. Um, so we can conclude that the future, from this section, we can conclude that what we are doing right now, we need to accept that AI is a part of the student learning and the teaching of teacher. Both group they feel that AI is a very good tool, useful, helpful, improve their work, save their time, easy to use, and they're gonna use more and more in the 2000 in this year and maybe more in the next year. And what they use for, they use for their study, they use for writing the paper, lesson, to design the lesson plan to improve the teaching method. This is the thing that we are doing now. We use the AI for almost everything in terms of the student and the teacher, and gonna be more and more. But the one thing that you can see from the number is people, especially the student, they start worry about the way that they use the AI too much. So this section we will show you what the impact that we have from the AI right now. So the first section, I explain to you what we are in right now. We are in the model classroom already. And AI tool is a big part of the model classroom. And we use the AI, and the second part, we use the AI for almost everything, learning and the teaching. And this section, I'm gonna show you what we get, what is affect us for using the AI in terms of learning and teaching. So the one thing that a lot of research they mention about is that we use the AI too much, but we don't have the guideline to control how to use the AI. This is the first effect in terms of for the teacher. We don't have a guideline to use the AI. We don't have a guideline to use the AI for, they develop the teaching or to support the student. In the same time, students, they use AI too fast. A lot. AI provide the new version every day. We use them every day, but they don't have a guideline how to use the AI. This is the first effect that impact to us. And the second one, that people start get excited. They start getting worried about themselves that their life depend on the AI too much. Some people, they start getting worried about that. Also, this is the same. This is almost like the show you the number that they use. How many people they, the often they use the AI for their study in their work. Yeah, you can see they're very high number. And the 42% of the young students, I think they use the generative AI in everyday basic, a lot of coursework. However, this is the data from the UNESCO. You can see that right now, and 92% of the people, especially the, like very higher education professional, like a college professor, they use the AI for the academic. like for teaching, do the paper, something like that, 92%. But only 23.6% that professor or the professional feel like confident in using their AI, in using the AI. Let's see. Their ability to use the AI effectively. So people know how use it a lot, but in the inside in their mind, they feel like they only confident about 20%. And also the website of the educational week and the hostinger that is they talk about the statistic in using the AI. And I think this is a very interesting number that this is the AI journey. They show the how the AI impact to their learning journey among the students. And I read the website and find the information. This is the way that AI impact to our students. At the beginning, students use the AI and they feel like, oh, this is the amazing tool. Will boost my confidence, help me to feel confident about myself that I can do everything that the teacher asks. The second phase, when they use a lot of AI, the second phase, they feel like, okay, no more challenges because generative AI can help them to find every answer that the teacher asks for. And this is the start getting impact to themselves. Then, and they no more challenge. They feel like, okay, everything AI can do. And that brings them to the last phase of the AI journey that they start getting worried about themselves, about how can they live without the AI or how can it. So how about if one day AI can replace them or how can, like this is the I should deserve the degree that I get it from the university or not. So this journey gonna show you how the AI impact to our student right now. At the beginning, helpful, used to, and then student use every day, no more challenges, student no more motivation in learning. And then that one gonna bring them to the question of themselves like, so this is what I learned or how can I confident with my skill. Also, this is the slide that I think very interesting to share with you that not impact to the student not feel confident with themselves. This time the impact of AI, we have the group of people that we call AIism. And a lot of students, I'm not sure in other country, but in my university, in my department, we have a people that a lot of more AIism. I'm not sure that you have heard this name before, but AIism is a group of the people that who believe in AI. So everything the AI they say they believe that, or they trust in the data from the AI more than the human. They feel like AI is an amazing tool. Is a it's an evolution that is like our friend, like our brain. So everything that I say, they trust. Everything that I recommend, they follow. So we call that is an AIism. So in the last sentence that the machine know the best, there is a people there who feel like, okay, I need to ask AI. What I want to eat today, I need to ask AI. What the direction I should drive to that destination, I need to ask AI. Or I have two options. The dean give me two options. What should I pick? I ask AI. If you have this kind of feeling, be careful, you're gonna become the AI soon. And what the AIism being asked, why is matter for the educator? Because or for the educator and the student. If you become the AIism gonna bring you a lot a several anxiety or sickness. The say how they call it psycho like your mind gonna be get sick. So I found a very interesting keyword that this is how the AIism gonna affect to you. They have five. I'm not sure that you have heard this word before, but this is the five sickness that if you use the AI too much in every aspect of your living or working, you're gonna have this kind of sickness. The first one is called cognitive atrophy. It's a sickness that people cannot wait to get the answer. So if you use the AI too much, you type the question and the AI give you the right answer in like 5 seconds, or maybe 1 or 2 seconds. So if you use too much, you cannot wait for the you cannot even wait for the long time. So in the past, student, when we get the one answer, like if you look at the picture on the right, before the generative AI occur in the world, when we get the one answer, or even we solve the math problem, like when we were young, we need to like, okay, divide the number, we need to multiply, like plus or divide or something in order to get the final answer. So it takes time. But right now, the new generation people, the young kids, they just type the math problem into the AI and then they get the answer. So this is the first thing that if you keep using AI too much, one day you cannot wait for the right answer. If you cannot wait for the right answer, it means that your brain is not working. So your brain gonna kind of not working anymore. You just wait for the right answer. So you cannot thought, you cannot have the critical thinking, you cannot be able to analyze or analyze the deeper skill or the deep thought to anyone. So this system gonna affect to the student. The student cannot break down to the small element. If they have a problem, they cannot break down. They cannot find the answer. They cannot break down the element and find the reason and how to solve that problem. So that is called the first effect of the using the AI. So the second one is about the anxiety. We call the hallucination anxiety. So if you use the AI too much, the second effect is that we're gonna have a question about themselves like, this is that true or real? If you look at the news right now that we have like the war around in Iran and Iraq, and we have a picture. Right now, if you look at carefully or look at the social media, people start asking that this is the real picture or the fake picture. So this is kind of the anxiety that people start not trust in other or themselves. So if you use AI too much, maybe one day you're gonna question that this is the real one. And also in terms of the student, if they use the AI too much and they have this anxiety, student gonna lose the confidence at the beginning. And also they're gonna lose the confidence, and then if you keep doing that, you're gonna lose the confidence more and more. Also, another effect from if we use the AI too much or become the AIism, the student gonna lose their resilience, or they cannot trust in themselves that they cannot do it. And this system gonna make the student to be like they cannot go through the difficult thing or issue, or cannot handle the tough or solve the problem anymore, because AI give them the right answer immediately. And this is gonna be the very big issue with our young student right now, that not even cannot wait, but they cannot solve the problem. They cannot handle the difficult time and issue when they need to fix the paper, when they need to fix the project. So they cannot handle that. Also, the last system is about the skill anxiety. If you become an AIism and use the AI too much, so this is the signal that talk about the people start worry about themselves. So if you use the AI too much in terms of writing, one day you cannot write. If you use the AI to read a lot, help you to read too much, one day you cannot read or summarize things. So many people, they start having this skill anxiety right now already. They worry that they lost the fundamental skill they're gonna lose after they use the AI. And yeah, they're gonna lead to the essential question about the long-term value of the human labor and the future of the specific career path. So if the ISM gonna be lost not the basic skill, and they become the prompt engineering. And the last one is called black box stress. If you look at the black box, is a kind of give you the idea what the sickness look like. So AI, when we put the information, we put the question, they're gonna process here, and they're gonna give you output. In the box, when they process, we don't know that how can they process. So the AI system, they will not know what the answer come from or how the answer come from. So we call this sickness that is a black box stress. So if one day we produce the AI system, graduate from us, and when they start working, their boss asks them like, where is your answer come from? They cannot tell because they use the AI. So this is another impact of the AI. I summarize all the sickness here from the AI that from the cognitive atrophy to the black box stress. If you look at the table, each sickness gonna give you the idea that if you become the cognitive atrophy, you're gonna lose the basic skill. If you have the sickness or the sickness of hallucination, anxiety, human gonna lose how they believe in themselves. If you have the academic resilience decline from using the AI too much, you're gonna lose about the confidence in yourself that you can live by yourself. And this skill anxiety gonna make you feel declining anxiety gonna make you feel like you cannot have the professional identity. You're gonna become the prompt engineering. And the black box state, if you have the black box state, you're gonna lose the how to make a decision, how to make the decision, how to explain the process, something like that. So this is the impact of the AI if you use the AI too much. And I can say that if you take a look at your students right now, especially the new generation, the undergrad, they start have kind of sickness already, especially the decision making, the black box stress. So how can we avoid of that sickness? I don't say that AI is a bad tool. AI is still the very helpful tool, but we need to balance it. So in terms of the educator, maybe we need to rethink that assignment that give you the right answer maybe is no longer to be applied for the student like in this time. Also, we need to explain to the student like, okay, AI is a tool that help you to learn better, but it's not everything that you need to ask them. You still become the most important person in the ecosystem. You need to make a decision. Yeah, and technology should support the teaching, not dedicate them, not let us know. Also, I have this presentation. Also, I have this this presentation that summarize of the section here. So you can I'm feel free to share with you if you wanna take a picture or copy and share with your student. So this is the overall that we are impact right now. So it kind of the contrast a little bit. People use the AI more, but in the same time, they start getting affected by the AI in the negative way. So they get the more sickness about using the tool, about using the AI. So we still have time. Okay. So this is going to be the last section of my presentation is about how can we balance between what we should do in Give me 1 second. I need to. Okay. So this is going to be the last section that's going to give you idea like what we should doing right now or in the future. So how can we balance the AI with our student and also ourselves? I do the research and I found out that there are 3 ways that we need to do right now. So the first thing about the emotion and attitude. The second thing is about the knowledge and skill. And the third thing is about the environment. Give me 5. Okay, sorry. So I come to this section. So this section gonna tell you what we have to do it right now or in the future. So how can we balance the AI and the how can we balance using AI for our student and the teacher. I found at the first way we need to, as an educator, we need, or the student, we need to make sure that our relationship with the tool. You need to know that AI is a tool that support us to work. So the relationship is no longer like what the tool gives to and we trust it. No. If you feel that way, that if we need to find information from the internet and we need to trust them immediately without any making decision making, the tool is not our boss that we need to listen. The tool need to be our, like advisor, our assistant. They provide the information to us and we need to make a decision. So AI tool is the tool that help us and we need to make a decision. In order to make the balance between the AI and the human, first thing you need to know what is your role of the human and what is the role of the tool. Tool just give us the information. They just a tool. They do not know that this is right or wrong. AI, if you look at the algorithm or the process of the AI, you're gonna see that AI, the answer that you ask them is about the calculation. Maybe you feel amazed, like how can they know that what I'm looking for? Because the people before you, they ask the same question as you. And everything that the previous user asked them, they collect the data and they calculate it. If somebody ask almost the same question like this guy, they're gonna give you this is the right answer. So it's about they just about the calculation. They cannot know that this is right, this is wrong, this is appropriate or inappropriate. So in order to be the survive in a good health in this century or in the learning ecosystem, you need to make sure that you are the boss. Tool is the assistant. When you know that you are the boss, so the AI is a tool that help you to finish the task or help you to achieve the goal. You need to divide that what the task that AI should help me to do and what the task that I should do by like have an AI help me. So I look at the paper and the website and they say like if in order to be balanced between AI and the human, you need to make sure that you are the person who make a decision. And the job like like data sorting, basic grading or schedule, you don't need to do it. You just give it to the AI and ask the AI to do it. So in the classroom, if you want to collect the data from the student, you ask the AI to collect the data. But when you grading student A, B, or C, you need to make a decision, not about the AI. Okay. Yeah, this is like the another way that we call like the expert in chief. So you need to make the verify the information from the AI and in order to get the decision for the final output. And also another way that we can create a human AI existence, that we need to make sure that the first thing, we need to make sure the relationship. The second thing, that we need to support our students to have the skill that AI cannot achieve or AI cannot have. In order to be what the skill that the AI cannot have is, like creativity, critical thinking, or like a ethic or something like that. Or we need to support that students. So it means that in a model classroom, only the convergent thinking or only the right answer is no longer to be applied to the student. You need, as an educator, as a professor, you need to focus on the divergent thinking, the divergent idea, that you need to support students and what the solution, how many solutions that we can solve this problem. Not only ask the student to find the best one, but we need to ask students to find what the possibility to solve this problem more than only one. Because the only one best solution, AI can do it. But the possibility, AI cannot do it, because AI calculate only the base, only the one answer. But we can think about the different way of solve the problem. Yeah, so I like this title, that to learning beyond the correct response. So right now, in order to make the balance in the e-learning ecosystem between human and AI, not the correct answer, not the best answer is no longer to be applied to our students. So we need to teach the student, like, life is not only one answer. You can have the many answers to solve your problem, to answer your question in your life. And which one is the best is up to you. And also the environment, we need to make sure that we create the wellness, the digital wellness for our students to prevent the digital sickness. So the digital wellness, what that is mean? It means that we can use the digital tool in a very good health, in a very happy feeling, no worry, no question about themselves. So how can we make the digital wellness for our students? The first thing is we call, like, I don't have this kind of word, but we have this, the AI detox. This is very in the trend of the educational technology research, that we start working on the AI detox. So in a classroom, maybe we can, ask them to have a limit them to use the AI, have a regulation to use the AI, to make the balance between, we will not so the good thing for the AI detox is that it helps the student not have a rely on the AI too much. So we can do the AI detox for creating the digital wellness by, like, give the regulation, give the guideline for them to use the AI. Also, another way is we can create a productive part, and we can do the environment that students need to be, like, master the answer, not only using the AI for the right answer. Yeah, I produced the human AI coexistence metric. That this is the idea, that how can we balance between the human AI and the coexistence metric. So so the metric gonna show that if you wanna, in terms of the attitude, you need to make sure that when you wanna balance the AI and the human in the classroom, we need to make sure that student is a person who make a decision. You need to make sure that you support student with the EQ, not the IQ, as we used before. And also we need to develop the, like, the safe environment, the zero detox and digital wellness, that people feel happy to use the technology, and in the same time they feel happy with themselves in achieve the learning. sorry. I would like to end up my presentation with this sentence that human and AI existent. How can we balance between human and AI perfectly? We need to know that life is not perfect. So AI give us the perfect answer, but we need to teach the student that life is never perfect enough. So gonna change a little bit the attitude of the student how to use the technology. And also I summarize all the guideline that how can we balance between human and AI. And I asked the notebook LM to design for me. I think you can take a picture and download and maybe you can share with your student that how can they use the AI very appropriately and make your life is no avoid to the sickness. Also, this is my email. If you have any question, if you have any thing yet you would like to share, you can send the email to me, or even you wanna come to Kasesa UC, you can send me the email as well. Okay. I hope that my presentation gonna give you the information that you can share with the student. And also I do the research about the AI and also the psychology sickness as well. If you're interested to want to do the research with me or share the idea or we can collaborate, you feel free to contact me to the email.
Thank you very much, Dr. Watsatri. Okay, for reminding us the advantages and disadvantages and the ways to manage in balancing the human AI coexistence. So the modern classroom has transformed into a connected learning ecosystems where learners, educators, technology, and social influences work together to create meaningful educational experiences. So moving away from the traditional models of passive learning, students are now active participants in their own growth, while teachers serve as facilitators and guides. So this shift is supported by an environment that values digital wellness, lifelong learning, and collaboration, forming a holistic system that nurtures both individual and collective development. So at the same time, the integration of AI in education presents both opportunities and challenges. So while it enhances efficiency and supports personalized learning, it can also lead to cognitive atrophy, hallucination anxiety, academic resilience decline, the skilling anxiety, and black box stress. So achieving a balanced approach is essential. So where AI complements rather than replaces human roles. So through thoughtful use, teachers remain central as mentors and decision makers while students learn to use AI responsibly, ensuring that technology empowers them without diminishing critical thinking, creativity, and authentic learning. So we will now proceed to the open forum. Again, you may send your questions through the chat box so I could read and relay your questions to Dr. Watsatri. Okay, so don't forget to clearly state your name, affiliation, or school and your question. So we have one question here from Sir Junlor Daxa. What key limitations must educational institutions consider when coexisting with artificial intelligence, and what approaches should they avoid to ensure its responsible and ethical adoption?
I think what the key limitation that is that the university or the educational need to consider. I think that the right now the in terms of the Kasesa University, right now we try to motivate all the professor to like define what they're teaching. So they try we Kasesa we try to support the seminar class that students can share the idea to each other and yeah like a represent that like we try to motivate all the professor to teach the student like a seminar class. The student can share the idea, they can share what they're interested, they can, like discuss more and more. So we kind of support the professor to teach in that way. So we are not, so in the last 2 years, we don't really have the curriculum that designed for the help the student to find the best answer. So we have the curriculum and the way curriculum that focus on the support student to find themselves in that area, something like that. And what the approach that they should avoid? Yeah, I think about the same thing. Like right now, for example, in my case, I teach the basic technology. I ask the student to, like develop the educational media, for example, like a presentation or animation. So I cannot control the student to use the AI to generate the project. So I explain to the student that I cannot control. You can use the AI. They cannot control you how you use the AI. But I will let you know that if you use the AI too much, you will not learn anything from my class. And why? You pay the money for the university already, and at the end you cannot get any knowledge from the class. So just think about that. If you do by yourself, you drawing, you use like you use the Photoshop, you use the program that develop the educational media and show me, at least you have some skill. What the skill? You need to draw the picture, you need to wait the time, to save the file or something like that. So you learn something. But if you use the AI, 5 minutes or like 1 minute, you get the file. You do not learn anything. You're gonna fall into the AI-ism and in the black box straight because you don't know anything. When you finish the degree, finish my course, you start getting work, your boss gonna ask you how can you come up with the idea or how can you come up with this media anyway? How can you answer your boss? If you cannot answer your boss, you're gonna lose your job. And you know what? When I start talking to the student like this, can you imagine like all of them, they never use the AI to generate the file, but they use the AI to find the inspiration, maybe translate something, but they never. But when they produce the media, like a short video, they never use the AI. So I feel like, okay, this is a good way that you just be honest to the student. You just be there, support them, the student. And my goal when I'm teaching right now, especially for the undergrad student, my goal, I never judge that you need to produce the best video. You don't need to produce the beautiful, perfect video presentation. If you do it and you feel happy about it, that is my goal. So the students start reduce using the AI in my class, and I think that is a technique that I use with my student. I also teach the student, the PhD student as well, and many of them they use the AI to like write the paper. And then I say the same thing as my undergrad to my PhD student. If you ask the AI to generate your paper, you don't learn anything. How can you become the doctor? When you have a title or doctor in front of your name, people in the society expect you to have, like deep learning, high knowledge, very skilled, very smart. But if you use the AI, how can you have that kind of skill or knowledge? And when you are in the real world, nobody gonna, like tell you the truth, but they're gonna gossip you behind your back, and you will not be accepted to be the part of the community. And it's the same thing. Yeah. And,
All right, thank you, Dr. Wasatri. There is also another question from Sir Ferdinand Ahena. There are state universities that do not have AI policies as of today. Now, considering that coexistence with AI is an environment that is now a must, how can AI policies in relation to pedagogies attend to fast adoption of AI tools, assuming these universities need to adopt AI policies now?
I think this is the issue around the world. Even Kasesa University, we don't have the AI like an official. I think even you look at from the internet that we don't have very like an AI regulation like a very official that all the university around the world can apply. We only have the guideline. So that is an issue that the thing that we can do right now that we can provide the guideline and make and develop the guideline that in the overall picture, like you can use the AI, but in the limitation of, like for 30%, you can use 30% of your paper, you can detect by the AI, but another 70% you need to write by yourself, by themselves. In Thailand, we have this kind of issue as well, like how can we come up with a policy? Our government, Ministry of Education say it depends on each university to develop the policy because we people are different. So Ministry of Education say okay, it depends on the each university to develop. Yeah. But we have to do if we start doing right now at the like small group like a department, we can do it right now and announce to the student in the beginning of the semester that okay, we have an AI, not the policy, but we have an AI guideline. And in the AI guideline, you need to make sure that you allow them to use the AI. If we announce that you cannot use the AI, I think students are going to use the AI anyway. As I mentioned in the slide, that you cannot stop or bias or reject the AI, but you need to be to live with the AI. The core idea of the AI, effective AI guideline for the student and create a successful AI human, like environment, learning environment perfectly. You need to integrate AI into the part of the study. You allow them to use the AI, but for motivation, summarize, like I edit the paper, but not the core idea. Also, right now, I want to share one idea with you that right now my department we pay attention to the thesis defense or the final project defense because we decided that defense is means students understand their work. So we need to focus on the defense the way that they discuss with us more than the thesis, the paperwork. So is it the only way that we can know that students do it by themselves? They totally understand by the content and knowledge by themselves. So right now, almost every master class, not only the thesis or dissertation, we apply this technique to every subject at the end of the semester to make sure that the whole semester they learn with us the project that they create for the whole semester, they totally do it by themselves and understand it. In a time we ask them to do the report, but this time we a little bit down the report, move to the discussion mode with the student.
Thank you once again, Dr. Watsatri Ditiyont, for the interesting presentation. We now award the Certificate of Appreciation. Allow me to read the citation. University of Makati College of Innovative Teacher Education, Certificate of Appreciation is proudly presented to Dr. Watsatri Ditiyont in grateful recognition of her invaluable insights and expertise as a guest speaker during the 2026 UMak-CITE International Summit on Education with the theme the global learning renaissance, harmonizing technology, equity, and human-centeredness. Given this 27th day of March 2026 at the University of Makati, Philippines. Signed by Jason Berganya, EDD, Dean, College of Innovative Teacher Education, Ederson D.T. Tapia, DPA, PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Alexor C. Ramos, Sese, PhD, President, University of Makati. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Watsatri.
Thank you so much. And you are feel free to use my presentation. I send the copy to the team
Yes,
already. You can share. Yeah. You can use for your student. You can use for your class. Interested.
Thank you so much. We are also interested to use your material.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so before we proceed to the next and last session for the day one of International Summit, please be reminded that we have a question and answer portion right after the presentation of the speaker. Participants may send their questions, then the speaker will answer at the end of the presentation. So our next session is entitled Assessment to Thrive, Measuring What Matters Most. So while education is often judged by how well it prepares students for the job market, it is increasingly criticized for overlooking well-being and civic responsibility. This theme invites us to rethink success in a more holistic way, balancing personal growth, community contribution, and lifelong fulfillment. Now, to help us navigate this important perspective, our speaker for this session is an internationally recognized academic leader in learning innovation, instructional design, and digital education. Currently serving as Deputy Director for Academic and Learning Development at the School of Business, Temasek Polytechnic, Singapore, a position she assumed in 2024. With more than 2 decades of experience in education, she has played a key role in shaping modern teaching and learning practices through the integration of technology, curriculum innovation, and faculty development. Her work focuses on preparing institutions and learners for the demands of a rapidly evolving global workforce by promoting flexible, interdisciplinary, and technology-enhanced education. She is widely known for her contributions to international conferences and scholarly publications on flipped learning, personalized learning, AI-supported education, and curriculum design for interdisciplinary learning. She has presented in global forums across Asia Pacific, including international education conferences, e-learning forums, and academic symposiums focused on future-ready skills and workforce development. Her work continues to influence institutional practices in higher and technical education, supporting educators in designing meaningful learning experiences that combine pedagogy, technology, and industry relevance in a changing world. Now, it is a privilege to have here with us the Deputy Director of Academic and Learning Development in Temasek Polytechnic, Singapore, Dr. Pratima Majal.
Hi, thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. Special thanks to Jason for inviting me because the topic is very close to my heart. So I'm very grateful to be here. And I think what would be great is let the questions come in so we can make this a more interactive session. allow me a minute to share my slides. Okay, are you all able to see my screen? Okay. Let me just adjust this. Give me a minute. Let me just try and look for this screen. Okay, so the topic today, that I'll be discussing is about what does success in education mean today, and just a little bit about myself before I talk about the topic. I started my career at Tanjong Secondary School. So I started in secondary school. Then I was hired at the National Institute of Education, Singapore, which is a teacher training institute at Nanyang Technological University. And now I have moved to Temasek Polytechnic. So my background is quite varied. I started off with accountancy and law, but then was interested in e-learning. So I did a specialist diploma in e-learning and then a master's in instructional design and technology. And I felt that just e-learning alone is not sufficient. You need to strengthen the education part, and that's where I did my master's in education and a doctorate in education. And recently I've started being more and more interested in the psychology, because I think psychology and education cannot be separated. So I completed my BSc in psychology just last year. So the reason I'm sharing all this is also because I think there's a lot of talk about lifelong learning. And I strongly believe that lifelong learning starts with us, the educators, because if you tell your students to be lifelong learners, you also need to model that. Okay, so this is what I'll be sharing. I'll start with the different lenses that we can look at what success means. We will then look at the global trends and what is my polytechnic doing in terms of supporting each of these lenses of what we mean by success. So the first lens we will look at is what do employers want. Then we look at what does society want. Lastly, what does the individual want. And then we'll synthesize and we will have a discussion around this to see exactly where are we heading with all this. Okay. We are also looking at the chats, so if there are any questions. Okay, so before we begin, I want to find out from you all, What does success in education look like to you? What do you all think success means in education? All of us are educators. So when someone says success in education, what does it mean to you? I'm trying to make it interactive. I think it will be more engaging and interesting. So do post your responses in the chat. I'm looking at the chat responses. Okay, Jason says success means employability, transformation, and clarity of purpose. Okay, so let's look at what Jason has said is a very fair and accurate response to what I'm also going to share. It's beyond employment, and so that's where we look at clarity of purpose. And thanks, Mayan, for the response. Success in education means the lives of students are changed for the better. Yeah, that's a simple and very powerful statement. Okay, so thanks for your responses. We will look at success from in education through three different lenses. Like I mentioned, the lens of employers. What do employers want? And we realize that very often we tend to focus a lot on what do employers want, will our students be employed? And in fact, the ranking of the university and the demand for the universities and institutes like ours is very much tied to do employers want students from our university? So there's a lot of emphasis given on employers and what they want from our students. Then we also look from the lens of society, whether this person is able to meaningfully contribute. And lastly, we look at what does the individual want. But so that's the framing that can be seen as somewhat flawed, because while we look at things from the employer's lens and to some extent from the lens of the society, the key thing, especially in the age of AI, is that employers and society serve as enablers to the individual capability. What we are really trying to do is whether the student is able to do well. So like what was mentioned earlier, whether the students are changed for the better. So it's about the students, while it's important for them to be employed and contribute to the society, the center of it all is our students. Okay, so the theme of this conference fits in perfectly, because we talk about humanizing technology, equity, and human-centeredness. And technology, when we look at it, you can look from the employer's lens, especially now because with AI, things are reshaping what skills the employers need. A lot of front-end jobs, in the sense, whatever can be automated, the employers now are using AI. So we have to constantly look at what are the employers saying, which human capability will survive, which one is moving fast, so which one, how do we train our students? The next lens is the equity lens, the lens of the society, that what kind of education must we produce citizens who serve and contribute? So are these citizens with strong values that come out from our institutes? And lastly, the human-centered part, where we look at the individual lens. Does the system serve the person? Okay, so we start with the first thing: success for employers. How does your institute prepare students for the workplace? We look at employers first as the first enablers. So usually when you look at employers, what are you looking at or what are you looking for? So I'm sure your institutes also collaborate a lot with industry. So what is it that you look for, or what do you think the employers look for when they are hiring students from your institute? Yeah, I'll rephrase the question. What are your employers looking for when they hire students? Trainability and soft skills. Here, there's a lot of emphasis, especially now, on soft skills. So look at what we are seeing now. The world of work is totally shifting, and it's shifting very fast. And if you look at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, 92 million jobs are being displaced by 2030. But the good news is there are new jobs available as well, and new opportunities will come in. And that's what, as universities, we need to be very mindful of what's happening, constantly sensing the environment, that things are changing fast with AI. How can we ensure that students are meaningfully employed even after they graduate? So that's going to be a challenge moving forward, because things are moving so fast, but the curriculum doesn't change as fast as how fast the economy is changing, the industry is changing. So I think earlier on also the speakers highlighted how the core skills are very important, and these are more the analytical skills, the resilience, leadership, creative thinking, motivation, those kinds of skills, as compared to technical skills alone. Yeah? Because with AI, we see that a lot of technical skills can be replaced, but it is these skills that are harder to replace. And a person who has this along with technical skills and fluency in using AI will be the one who's able to excel at their work. Yeah, so we look at the top 5 core employer skills for 2030. They talk about analytical skills, resilience, leadership, and social influence, creative thinking, motivation, and self-awareness. Okay, so what I do is next, I will share some of the strategies we use at Temasek Polytechnic to prepare our students for the constantly changing place of work. Firstly, every student that comes into the institute, the focus is on values, because if the student is not deeply rooted in strong values, to us, we haven't succeeded in helping the student develop. So the focus is very much on values. Then future-oriented creator, whether they're able to solve problems collaboratively and able to use digital tools, and how good are they at innovation. A lot of emphasis is added on innovation, and there are modules, separate modules on innovation, as well as within the curriculum subjects embed innovation and creativity, because that's what we are hearing from the industry, that we are looking for people who are creative, who can come up with new, fresh ideas. Yeah, and then lifelong learners. Okay, and within the schools, like I'm from the School of Business, we introduced 2 years back, we introduced the BUZZ DNA, the business DNA. Every student by the end of 3 years must showcase that they are trailblazers, collaborative problem solvers, effective communicators, and they are adaptable. Now, we had introduced this, we had started working on this even before AI came in, and now with AI, we see that these skills are very much valued. And the most important skill would be adaptable, whether the student is able to adapt fast and is more resilient. So whenever any institute or university introduces all these soft skills, I think as a teacher trainer, I always remind the teams that we also need to advise staff on what it means to their curriculum, what it means to their assessment. And unless you change assessment, nothing will change. So assessment drives learning. And that's where whenever you introduce soft skills, you also need to guide the institute by providing them with things like the rubric and then let the subject leaders adapt to the rubrics or extract ideas from what you have. So giving them resources is very important when you introduce how soft skills should be integrated, and especially important for these soft skills to be assessed. Because if you're not assessing, then it's harder for students to develop these skills. And the focus won't be there even when you're teaching. Okay, so like I mentioned, there are many diploma core subjects. There are diploma electives. Same like universities, they all have the core subjects, the elective subjects, but also throughout the institute, we have some fundamental subjects which are focusing on the holistic development of the student. Okay. And because we are a polytechnic, we focus on applied learning so that students are prepared for the workplace. Students are given global exposure. Every student goes overseas on whether it's service learning trips or even internship. Technology-enabled learning, this is done at the institute level where we expose our staff and students to different technologies. Industry partnership, this is one of the key areas where we excel, because without industry partnership, we will find it difficult to prepare our students for the workplace. And what is unique about our institute is the culture of caring. So staff caring for students, students caring for each other. So that's the culture we have tried to inculcate for many years now. Okay. The key pedagogy we use is industry-based experiential learning in the School of Business. And this is because industry partnership, like I mentioned, is important. If we want students to learn, it's not in the classrooms. It has to be at the workplace. So right from year one, we have some of the courses which introduce work-based learning. Students have to go in and start working. And then when they learn in the classrooms, they are able to link up whatever they are learning to the workplace. So everything that they do has to be linked to their experiences at work. That's why the emphasis on industry-based experiential learning. Starting this year, we realized how important for employers the skills is that students have over and above their technical skills. Things like whether they are involved in community work, whether they have any internship experiences, work-based experiences, whether they have worked on projects, overseas exposure. So we have introduced the skills transcript, which lists down all these important details, which again gives a holistic snapshot of the student beyond just the technical skills. Because just because you're good at technical skills does not mean that you will be good at the workplace. And we are increasingly seeing how the industry wants a lot of other soft skills as well. And students, although they are just graduates, the expectation is that they come with a lot of experience already. So what we have done is integrated the work experience within the curriculum. So that way the students are very much prepared for the workplace. Okay, so from the employer's lens, we see that the employers will be thinking, do our graduates, are they ready from day one? Can they contribute or not? So that's how we prepare the students intentionally by giving them the necessary skills and human skills as well, which is integrated into the curriculum. And we work closely with the industry. And with this skills transcript, the students also know that the emphasis is not just on academic grades, but it's beyond that. Okay, so my question to you is this an assumption that if students are employable, imagine from your university, 100% students are employable and they get a job. Does that mean they are successful? Okay, what do you think? Because we put so much emphasis on employers, industry, and just because students are employable, just because they get a job after graduation, does that make them successful? Okay, any responses? This is a good time to question our own assumptions as well. And there's no wrong or right, it's just sharing of what do we think. Okay, yes, but we have different perceptions of success. So okay, so it's very true that we do have different perceptions. So yes, I know. So the first chat response was yes, and then second one is not necessary. I think being employable is the first step. Actually, keeping the job where the value is a yes. So it depends. Yeah, a student might be successfully employable, but does not guarantee success. It's complex and depends entirely on how you define success. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the key things, that how do we define success? Are we being influenced a lot by the industry, by the way we have grown up also, where all the years of education is towards finding a job, and then once you're employed, you feel okay, I have arrived. In fact, I did a quick poll with course chairs who run the courses and asked them, what do you think students think is the value of education? What is the purpose of education for them? And unanimously, all the students say it's to get a job to make money. Okay, so that is success even for how students perceive it. But again, like I said, and like what some of you all have shared, it really depends. Okay, and we'll talk more about this, why it depends. We'll first look at the second lens, success for the society. So when we look at success from the society point of view, what does it mean to you? How does your institute support it? It means, do we all consider society as an important lens? Do we work with in any form with any organizations or doing any social work beyond industry? So does your institute work with anything that develops for students the social responsibilities? Because like we mentioned, success is holistic. A lot of emphasis is on employability. In fact, a major 90%, I would say, we are always looking at employability, which is not a wrong thing because you want the students to be meaningfully employed. But what about the society? Okay, so society, again, is an absolutely important lens, although not much importance is given. But if you look at the Ministry of Education in Singapore, the desired outcomes of education, what is expected is that the end of the education, that they have certain strong characteristics where they have the moral courage to stand up for what is right. They are resilient. Just now, the earlier speaker spoke about how resilience is going down in the age of AI. But we are seeing that one of the desired outcomes of education is to build resilience, because students will face problems in their personal life, in their education, in their workplaces. Are they resilient? And if they are not, then was it a responsibility of the educators or the education system? Did we emphasize on it enough? Okay, so at TP, we do give, at our institute, we do give students a lot of opportunities to be involved in local and global community efforts. And we try and integrate it within what we are doing. Within the curriculum is the best way to, not separate it, but it's very much integrated. So it also, students are immediately able to see the value of what they are learning, not just towards for their job or their own self, but to the society. For example, our accounting and finance students conduct workshops on financial literacy for the public. And it helps a lot of elderly in terms of getting caught in any kind of scams and getting into trouble because they are not financially literate. So this kind where they are learning and contributing to the society gives them a sense of purpose. Yeah. Then there are service learning opportunities as well, where students come together and solve problems that social issues and all collectively. And very often we work with organizations here in Singapore. Okay, so we've looked at beyond employability, how we measure success in terms of how they contribute to the society. So we've seen that the desired outcomes emphasize it, which is one of the key things is, does your education either for your institute or at the ministry level emphasize the importance of responsibility? And then secondly, how is your organization providing that platform for students? And then lastly, understanding that in the age of AI, this is going to be even more important moving forward. Okay, so I have a question for you all. Tell me, is this student successful? So a graduate is currently unemployed. She's actively contributing to a social cause, supporting communities, creating impact, making a difference. Would you think this student is a successful student? Yeah, so it depends on how we define, but yes, she's meaningfully contributing to the society. She is unemployed, but this can also be seen as success. And this is important because we are having a lot of fresh graduates who are finding difficulty in finding jobs. But because the entire focus, even for them, is that I will graduate and find a job, which is not wrong. And even for the institute, the focus is they need to find a job. So what happens to the students when they don't find a job? They suddenly feel that all my graduation all wasted. I studied for 3 years, 5 years, and by the end, I don't have a job. So when you tie things very closely to the economic side and not the social side, there's sometimes this problem because we haven't balanced it, we haven't articulated it to students that there are different ways of contributing to meaningfully to the society through your job or through social causes. The last lens is the individual, success for the individual, what this means, and how does the institute support it. Now, this is the most important lens. And okay, so there's somebody who's, okay, Jason says, ultimate goal of education is how it contributes to your personal happiness, whether what you do is paid or within expected job you will do. So yes, happiness is important, but finding the purpose is extremely important. And how does the student feel? Very often we are very concerned about, is the student contributing? Is he able to find a job? But let's discuss further and see what does it mean to the student. Okay, so at the Polytechnic where I work, we do give a lot of emphasis on co-curricular activities and electives where students can choose what they like, what they want to learn. Every student has a dedicated care person, like home teacher in school. We have continued it even though it is an institute of higher learning. We want students to have that connection, have the sense of family. So when they come as a class, they feel I belong to this class. If I have any issues, I can talk to my classmates, I can talk to my care person. In the recent years, we've had to increase the number of counselors and para-counselors because we are seeing increasingly students finding it difficult in terms of stress, their mental health. So that's something provided as well. And more importantly, we try our best to help the individual to flourish through purpose-driven learning. Like I mentioned, social cause or anywhere where they feel they can contribute meaningfully. Okay, so when we talk about success for the individual, what we are really asking is this person grounded? Do they have a sense of direction? Do they feel in control of their life? Because education it's not just about what we could have students who have found a job and every single day they are so unhappy and is not pleased with what they are doing. Or you could have students who are doing in their course 3 years and they were miserable all 3 years. Right? So as an individual, does the individual have that sense of direction, feeling of control? And this is becoming more and more important in today's time because we are seeing that what success in education meant or the way things are seen is different from what's happening. If you look at a student who graduates with a very strong GPA, very good internship, has gotten a job, the employers love him, he's able to even contribute meaningfully to the society. On the other hand, the same student is anxious every day, was not interested in the course, was unsure whether this is the industry he or she wanted to go, and totally feels lost and without purpose. So that's a paradox. That's the struggle we have sometimes, that if we only look from one or two lenses, we are missing out on an important lens, which is the individual. Yeah, whether it's what does the success mean to that individual. If we look at Singapore, and I'm not sure what the percentages are for the different countries, but this seems to be the global trend in terms of mental health and well-being of students. 27% of Singapore youths aged 15 to 35 reported severe or extreme anxiety. We have students, more and more students talking about how anxious they are, how depressed they are sometimes, that enthusiasm we don't see sometimes, especially when it's assessment time, the stress level is so high. We have more and more students coming to see the counselors. So 76% of Singapore students feel very anxious for a test, and 1 in 3 youths uh, have reported mental health issues. So what's happening now is we are creating a system that is definitely producing employable graduates because our focus is so much on industries, partnerships, creating that channel for every student so that all of them succeed. But the success is incomplete because, on the other hand, we have anxious young people who are quite lost sometimes. Yeah, so it's important that we reframe, at least in my institute, we are, and in the institutes of higher learning, I have worked closely with, there's a lot of focus on employment, which is not a wrong thing. It is important because we want our students to be meaningfully employed, able to take care of themselves financially. But what's more important is, are the students happy, or are they finding, do they feel the sense of purpose with whatever they do? So the society part is important, the employer's part is important, but at the center of it, we need to focus on the student. Yeah, so if for success, we don't just look at capability of the students, the contribution, but individually as a growth, are they becoming more self-aware and are they able to navigate life independently? Okay. Now, I won't say we are not doing enough. We do have the Ministry of Education also coming up with different frameworks. There's a lot of emphasis on character building and citizenship. But what is more important is, it's important that we emphasize this. It's important that we measure this, because as long as we just emphasize but don't measure, we are shaping a society that could be a lot more anxious or unhappy because of a lot of issues and conflicting things coming in, like AI. There's good and bad with AI, and if we don't manage that properly, we will have more and more issues in the area of mental health and ethics. So if we don't measure that, we will be the ones who are, to some extent, responsible to what we are, to what students we are graduating. Okay, now, there are many ways in which we can do that. Like I mentioned, you need to assess. So assessing can be different ways. If we say innovation is important, critical thinking is important, getting students to work on portfolios as assessment as compared to tests and exams, which are also important, but can we give them different ways of capturing some of the things that we think is important? Then character building is self-assessment. Self-assessment is very important because if the students don't even know where they stand, it becomes very difficult for them to bridge that gap. And this training has to come from while they are studying, because at work, they will be constantly challenged with new things coming in. So they need to be able to assess, what is my skills gap, where am I lacking, and be very honest with themselves so that they can bridge that gap. Then citizenship and community, this becomes an absolutely important aspect, especially in the age of AI, because more and more students will feel that there's a sense of loss for students. If we think very deeply in the age of AI, what's happening is that a lot of struggle is taken away from them. For example, if I have problem-based learning, I get a group of students to work on a certain problem. Coming up with a solution gives them that dopamine release, the happy hormones which are important every time they achieve something. Now they can just post a question, AI can answer. The shortcut, like what was mentioned earlier, creates is taking away those happy hormones which would have released each time they would have solved a problem. Yeah, so cognitively, they are going to be, it's going to be more and more challenging unless we create opportunities where, within our curriculum or socially, where they do something good and they feel good about it. So service learning, I feel that is going to be more and more important in today's life. Okay, so what does success mean in education today? Yes, it's important to look at it from the employer's lens to see whether the students are able to find employment, able to contribute to their organization. But at the same time, we want them to have strong character so that they can contribute to the society. And the most important thing that we need to focus on is students, individuals as humans, that whether they are able to flourish and not just perform well in their assessments, but are we helping them flourish and grow? So the best education system will assess all three and deliver all three, because students don't respond to what we teach, they respond to what we assess, what we measure. Yeah, so I have some questions here for us to reflect on, but I'm happy to take questions and also comments from you all on this. Yes, happy students learn better. Definitely, and that's why bringing the fun element into classroom is very important, because when they are having fun, they will absorb more as compared to when they are having stress. And learning should be enjoyable if we keep focusing on lifelong learning. But if students have a traumatic experience and they are learning in their courses, then they'll be the first ones to, wait till they graduate and then they won't come back to learning more. There's another good comment here that our society is oriented in such a way that financial security becomes prerequisite for happiness. Yes, that's very true, and we see in the group, in countries which are developed, where the students might not have that same drive as compared to the developing countries and underdeveloped countries, where finance, at least it's a driver. Now imagine you have kids who are financially very stable, having job or not having job doesn't matter much. That makes it even harder for them. While we might think these are privileged kids, but it creates a sense of emptiness. Is like, what's my purpose? What am I doing? There's no drive. There's no purpose. So it's important to understand from the individual lens as well, because it's not always about employment and financial security. Yes, most of the institutes look at success through the academic performances, because that's how we grew up. Right? Our success in the education meant that we had good performance, good grades, which is not wrong, but it's limiting, and it's only one part of helping the students grow. Yes, self-harm and depression, anxiety. We are having more and more students with emotional issues, and that's where it becomes even more critical and urgent to focus on the individual at the center of it all. Okay, are there questions for me?
cellphone. Thank you, Dr. Majal, for sharing Temasek Polytechnic's approaches for ensuring student success by preparing them from the onset of their enrollment. Your insights highlight the importance of intentionally shaping learners from the very beginning, equipping them not only with the relevant skills, but also with a mindset to thrive in a rapidly changing world. At the same time, the true definition of success cannot be measured solely by societal conformity or conventional standards. It goes beyond what the naked eye can see. It is deeply personal and rooted in what brings fulfillment to each individual, whether through a meaningful work, passions they pursue, or the impact they create in their communities. Ultimately, success in education lies in empowering students to discover their purpose and embrace their uniqueness and lead lives that are not only productive but also purposeful and fulfilling. So we will now proceed to the open forum. Again, you may send your questions through the chat box so I could read and relay them to Dr. Majan. So for now, we have one question from the UMak faculty. What specific human-centered skills should educators prioritize to ensure students remain competitive in an AI-driven workforce?
Okay, that's a good question. Specifically for AI-driven workforce, adaptability is what we are trying to focus on. That means the student is adaptable. That skill is so important because things are going to change. You cannot prepare students enough while they are in the organization, while they are in their courses, because after they graduate, they will be expected to maybe change their job roles, be more open to embrace the new things that's coming. Are they able to adapt quick enough to embrace the changes and still survive? So adaptability is something I would think the number one uh, key skill needed. Of course, critical thinking skills is important as well, because as we coexist with AI, if we are not able to contribute to the work we do and rely too much on AI, very soon the employers will not need us because they can easily replace us with AI. So that's where the critical thinking, the contribution, the intellectual capacity is important, where you can think deeply, you can think creatively and critically.
Thank you, Dr. Majal. We have a few comments here from the participants. From Dean Berganya, the rate of students committing self-harm is significantly everywhere. This should tell us something. So it's about the discussion a while ago. And another one from Mr. Orbistondo, I think it also manifests in low engagement in classes because these students are not necessarily passionate with their studies. We can see this in high burnout rates in the labor sector. Another comment from Ma'am Greta Navales. To our participants, it's a very good discussion from DJ. Very good discussion to make us reflect how we truly measure and define the meaning of education. Okay, another question from Ma'am Tapang. How can educators help learners value success beyond grades in communities where education is often seen as the only path out of poverty?
Yes. So again, success beyond grades. It's not as simple as that. How are you measuring success? So, for example, if the grades are only given for technical skills and we continue to do that, it's going to be more and more challenging because AI can take over the technical part. Yes. So, what are you grading is important. And as organizations, if you grade holistically, nothing is wrong in the grades. It's what are you grading, right? So where learners value success beyond grades. Firstly, our students are programmed in certain ways, so you have to start with extensively motivating them because it's very hard to tell them. The first thing they will ask, is this graded? So anything you want to inculcate in them, even the social and service learning that we do, we have to sometimes encourage the students that you'll get C points. These points can be accumulated for your certifications when you go to workplace. You know, it can show how you're contributing to the society. So constantly we also sometimes have to use extrinsic motivation. And then intrinsic motivation would be by bringing in people into your organizations who can share their stories of how they made a difference and how it impacted them deeply. Inspiring stories of ex-students, you know, those can be ways in which you can share in your institutions. And it doesn't always have to be service learning without any financial gains, because we also have a lot of social entrepreneurs, and we are encouraging more of those where students can go in and solve problems and become entrepreneurs. So they are funded, where they are contributing to the society, but also making money, becoming entrepreneurs at the same time. So it doesn't have to be this or that, it can be together. As educational institutes, is how much can you contribute to that? Okay, there's a question on how has your understanding of the lesson helped you improve or change your thinking in real life situations. So understanding of the lesson, I am not sure what the lesson is. Okay, there's another question. What matters most between performance task against written exam and oral examination? Okay, we are very much applied learning. So only in our foundational subjects, we have written exams. Like economics, statistics, we want the foundation strong, so there are written exams. But otherwise, most of our exams are where the students work on projects, and mostly industry projects. So the industry client will come and give a project statement where the students have to work on it. Now, with AI, certain things are changing because we are seeing that take-home assessments, like when they are working on assessment projects or project reports, it could be AI generated. So all our assessments which are take-home have to be authenticated. Authenticated means verbally checked. After their projects are submitted, they have to present their case. And the session is not a presentation, but Q&A session, where the lecturer will ask questions to authenticate whether these students have understood or not. So a lot of emphasis is now on finding out whether the students are competent or they are just competent in AI. Because once you remove the written exam, the issue of assessing students and whether they have learned, it becomes very challenging to find out whether it's really student work or AI work. So we have embedded authentication of assessments, either process authentication or product authentication. Process authentication is while the students are working on their projects, the lecturer has checkpoints where the lecturer can ask questions about the project. And from the response, you would know who is doing the work, the students or AI. Yeah, so yes, what matters most is, again, they should be capable of performing the tasks, and exams is more to, for the foundational subjects, only written exams.
Another question from Dean J. Bergania. Other than the school, the home should also be guided to change perspective towards their children's school performance. Parents have the tendency to put too much pressure on making their children become very competitive in schools. What do you think are the roles of schools to guiding parents?
Okay, I don't know about your countries, but in our country, it's becoming more and more difficult because after every time after every assessment and the grades are released, we have parents calling us to check how come my kid got a B instead of an A. So yes, we are having a lot of pressure from the parents as well, and we do have partners in education sessions for the parents, where we call the parents, tell them what the expectations are and how they should try not to get in the way of the students' learning. Because when the parents become competitive and add more pressure, sometimes the student loses interest because it all becomes more and more about grades than their passion. So we try and educate them through the partners in education forums that we have for parents. We do counsel them. Sometimes I do have to meet parents after the grades are out to explain to them, why the student got that grade, and even showing them how a rubric is read. So these things, because I think in the past the parents were not so involved as now. Now we are seeing more and more parents involved.
Thank you, Dr. Pratima Majal, for the interesting presentation and for accommodating our questions. We now award the Certificate of Appreciation. Allow me to read the citation. University of Makati College of Innovative Teacher Education Certificate of Appreciation is proudly presented to Dr. Pratima Majal in grateful recognition of her invaluable insights and expertise as a guest speaker during the 2026 UMak-CITE International Summit on Education with the theme The Global Learning Renaissance, Harmonizing Technology, Equity, and Human-Centeredness, given this 27th day of March 2026 at the University of Makati, Philippines. Signed, Jason Berganya, EDD, Dean, College of Innovative Teacher Education. Ederson D.T. Tapia, DPA, PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Alexur C. Ramos, CESA, PhD, President, University of Makati. Once again, thank you, Dr. Majal, for sharing your insights with us today. Okay. So to provide the synthesis of today's sessions, please welcome Professor Jacqueline Cansancio, Faculty, College of Innovative Teacher Education.
Again. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to have you all here as we dive into the key takeaways from today's session. We have explored some truly transformative ideas that are reshaping the landscape of modern education, from the way we honor every learner's unique potential to how we build the high-tech, human-centered classrooms of tomorrow. To help ground these big concepts, here is a comprehensive synthesis of the core themes and visionary strategies discussed in this seminar. Our keynote speaker's presentation on Teacher Education Roadmap 2035 presents a comprehensive and teacher education in the Philippines. The roadmap is anchored on the mandate of the Teacher Education Council under Republic Act 11713 which emphasizes the need to respond to emerging educational realities such as artificial intelligence, data-rich environments, and evolving roles of teachers and learners. Dr. Hodgson mentioned about the vision of the teacher education roadmap, which aspires to develop educators who are competent, ethical, inclusive, resilient, and committed to lifelong growth. Another significant aspect of the roadmap is the reframing of the pre-service teacher education curriculum, which emphasizes a human-centered and context-responsive approach where educational contexts are both the foundation and the goal of teacher preparation. This shift highlights the importance of learner-centered pedagogy, cultural responsiveness, and real-world relevance in teaching. Four interconnected pillars that collectively redefine the teacher education system were also discussed by our keynote speaker. These pillars focus on elevating and promoting the teaching profession, strengthening educator preparation, investing in in-service development, career progression, and recognition, as well as the broadening the impact of teacher education by promoting research, innovation, and internationalization. Overall, the presentation conveys a unified vision of teacher education as an integrated and dynamic system. It underscores the professionalization of teaching, the promotion of equity and inclusion, the integration of technology and innovation, and the importance of lifelong learning. Ultimately, it affirms that empowering teachers is essential to achieving quality education and sustainable national development. Our first speaker coming from Malaysia, Dr. Nuzarit Sophia Nordin, presented about empowering self-directed lifelong learners for future-ready timeless skills, which advances a transformative perspective on education, emphasizing the urgent need to develop learners who are self-directed, resilient, and capable of navigating an increasingly complex and information saturated world. Drawing from 17 years of experience in education rather, the speaker highlights a critical shift in the nature of learning. She mentioned about this condition of information overload. This underscores a growing gap between traditional educational systems and the demands of a fast changing global environment where knowledge is abundant but clarity and direction are often lacking. Dr. Nurdin also highlighted the concept of self-determined learner who takes ownership of their learning journey, demonstrates autonomy, and continuously adapts to new concepts. To support the development of self-directed learners, the speaker advocates for more flexible and personalized learning structures, such as the idea of modular learning and multiple learning pathways through mechanisms such as the APPEL or accreditation of prior experiential learning, which recognizes and validates learning acquired through experience. Another key theme in her presentation is the enduring importance of timeless skills. The speaker also highlights the growing role of micro-credentials as a means of making learning more visible, flexible, and aligned with industry needs. She said that educators must make possibility visible. Additionally, the concept of edutourism is introduced as an innovative approach that integrates learning with experiential and cultural engagement. According to our speaker, we must build environments that support resiliency among our learners and design a pathway that makes independence possible for self-directed learners. Dr. Frances Olivia Magtoto's talk on purposeful inclusion advocates for a fundamental rebirth of educational assessment, shifting from standardized one-size-fits-all models to human-centered and culturally responsive practices. It identifies traditional assessments as often biased and exclusionary, particularly for neurodiverse and culturally diverse students, and proposes that assessment should serve as a tool for belonging rather than just sorting. By integrating Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences and the concept of neurodiversity, educators can implement intelligence pair methods that allow students to demonstrate understanding through their unique strengths. To achieve equity in assessment, the speaker details alternative assessment strategies such as portfolios, performance based projects, and diversified outputs like videos or models. Central to this framework is a proactive design principle, moving from late accommodations to an intentional, universal design for learning that includes clear goals, multimodal submissions, and AI supported scaffolds. The speaker asserts that by redesigning how we assess students, we are redesigning who is given the opportunity to succeed. Our fourth speaker from Thailand, Dr. Watsitri talked about the human AI coexistence. It outlines a transformative vision for education centered on a dynamic modern learning ecosystem. The ecosystem is built upon four primary pillars: learners and educators at the core, an integrated infrastructure stack, an extended community, and an invisible atmosphere of culture and values. According to the speaker, a critical component of this evolution is the changing roles of students and teachers. Students transition from being a passive audience and receivers of information to becoming active, individualized, and hybrid learners. Simultaneously, educators evolved from simple content deliverers and broadcasters into facilitators, mentors, content designers, and co-learning partners. Ultimately, her talk emphasizes that successful education extends beyond school boundaries and relies on a supportive social context involving families, government policy, and ethical standards. By balancing advanced technology with human connection and lifelong learning mindsets, the goal is to shape students into beautiful humans capable of embracing differences and building peaceful, continuous path growths. Last but definitely not the least, Dr. Pratima Majal's talk about success in education explores a multidimensional definition of educational success through the lenses of employers, society, and the individual. The speaker argues that while employability is crucial, true success must also encompass a graduate's contribution to society and their own personal flourishing. The employer's lens focuses on preparing job-ready graduates with a shift toward fundamentally human skills like analytical thinking, resilience, and leadership to navigate a rapidly changing job market. From a social perspective, success is defined by producing citizens of sound character who contribute to their communities aligned with the education's desired outcomes. Crucially, the individual lens emphasizes that education should prepare students to live, not just to work, by supporting mental health and building a sense of purpose. Despite high employability, data shows significant anxiety among Singaporean youth, leading to a success paradox where students perform but may not flourish. The speaker is advocating for a reframed assessment framework which measures cognition, character, and citizenship through methods like self assessments and impact logs to ensure students become true contributors rather than just credential collectors. As you leave here today, I encourage you to see yourselves not just as educators, but as architects of a beautiful human spirit. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive synthesis, Professor Constancio. Before we end, we have a few announcements. We will now have a virtual photo opportunity. May we request all participants to turn on your cameras? Yes. Say on the main screen, smile as our technical team captures the official screenshot. Yes. Okay, smile. Okay. 3, 2, 1, smile. Next slide. Three, two, one, smile. Next. Okay. Smile. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. Okay, next slide. 3, 2, 1, smile. Three, two, one, smile. Okay. Again, please don't forget to accomplish the attendance and evaluation forms. Okay. Participants with incomplete submission of the attendance and evaluation forms for any day will not be issued a certificate and will not be credited with CPD points. Please refer to the QR code flashed on the screen for the evaluation of today's session. On behalf of the organizing committee, we sincerely thank all our speakers, participants, and guests from different parts of the world. Many thanks to the University of Makati, College of Innovative Teacher Education for organizing this event and making it possible, including ensuring this conference is credited with 6 CPD units. We look forward for your participation again tomorrow for day 2 of the summit. Please be reminded that tomorrow's program starts at 7 a.m. There will be exciting topics await, such as first, the borderless campus, reimagining physical and digital learning ecosystems, to be discussed by Dr. Micheline Rivo. Second, the ethics of data, protecting the student in a digital world, to be discussed by Professor Takashi Fukushima. This concludes day 1 of the 2026 UMak-CITE International Summit on Education. We would love to see you again tomorrow for this another set of interesting topics. Good afternoon, stay safe, and thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye!
With passion to teach and hearts that care, future educators, handa na kami. We did it! CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat habang, liderato, talino, at pusong may danggal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Inanay sa ideya. Leadership na may tapang at paninindigan. Excellence sa gawa, hindi lang sa salita. Altruism sa puso, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Resilience sa hamon, di basta sumusuko. Nationalism ang sigaw para sa Pilipino. Sa bawat hakbang, sa bawat pangarap, I learn ang lakas, CITE ang landas. Hindi lang diploma ang aming hangad, kundi misyon na may sasay at malasakit. Sa silid-aralan at sa tunay na buhay, kami ang guro, kami ang ilaw ng bukas at gabay. CITE, where innovation meets excellence. We lead, we learn, we rise with confidence. I learn ang gabay sa bawat hakbang. Liderato, talino at pusong may dangal. Proud kaming maging guro para sa bayan, para sa kabataan, para sa mundo. UMak-CITE, kami ang magtuturo. Sa bawat klase may pag-asa, may liwanag na buo. Hands up! Sabay-sabay. Future teachers, this is our day. Learn, lead, serve with pride. UMak-CITE, we stand side by side. CITE, where innovation meets excellence.